Hello, my name's Tom Cahill. It's Friday the 3rd of September, no, Friday the 3rd of October 2014. I just want to show you a quick follow-up to the last video to include some of the little bits and pieces I missed right now. First of all, I'll show you that Lao Cow bottle. I think I showed you it before, didn't I? That's Lao Cow. Now that's now turned into Yadong because I've stuck the Yadong powder in it. Quite amazingly, I've just looked. I mean, that's only a little packet. Like if you see, I haven't got very big hands, like, but they're actually quite small, so that'll make it look bigger. But that is a very small packet. It's not big. There's hardly any in it. Yeah. That in Germany sells for €9, something or another. It's basically €10 for one. No, for two of these. Here they're worth 40 pence, or 55, €60. This Yudong. This is Yudong now. This is Lao Cow whiskey white with Yudong herbal powder in it. In Germany they're selling it as like crown powder or something. Crown means a herb in German, doesn't it? I only know that because I lived there and had the crown butter that used to stick on the steaks and stuff. So I'm not just being clever. But anyway, the bottles often have these tops on them, and obviously have a seal. That means it's Thai government liquor, so you can sell it. If it doesn't have that, it's illegal here. But you see, you've got like a pull cap which you pull it off. But often, if you get your dong, because they've often actually made it and put it back into the Lao Cow bottle with the Yadong in it. Often, it's not unusual to get a bottle like this if it is Yadong. Now, this was bought as a Lao Cow, which is just a normal whiskey white, and it was turned into Yadong. Now, I'm just going to show you what it looks like in a glass. Right, so I've got nothing to put this on, so I'm just going to have to lift it up. But anyway, I'll pour it out. Right. There you go. See, look, that's the kind of colour it comes. That looks a bit stocky. That's a bit too. It's a bit because that's powder and it's not really soaked in. So you've got kind of like a blacky colour as well as the red. Whereas if it gets fully absorbed, it would just be this more richer, darker red without any black bit. It would be all the same colour. But anyway, the thing I was missing out was, as I said, this is the point. People aim to get Sangsom if they're going for like a spirit. And that's wrong. It's nothing wrong with it. But the point is that's their target. Or they might get Absolute vodka or something like that. Now, but the point is, obviously you can get lots of those foreign brands as well. In lots of the shops, you really can, because people here do not like to fuck around getting shit drinks. They don't like getting drinks. They don't like my host at the minute. If he has Johnny Walker Red Label, he spit it out and say it's disgusting, or he'll drink it and then start going on for about 2 or 3 hours about how disgusting it is. So he'll drink some shit that costs like £1, but if you get him something that only costs like £40, it's all no good. It has to be Black Label, preferably one of the fancy versions of Black Label, which costs more than like a month's wages. Or they'll just complain about it. So that's just the way it is. But what I was going to say is I missed out some of the other alternative drinks, spirit-wise. Now, there's one called Hong Thong, like Hong Kong, but HONG, and that's blended spirits. Now, I believe that's 35%. That's another good one. Doesn't make you sick or anything. Not particularly brilliant, not particularly bad. It's literally like blended spirits. It tastes a bit like Blitz brandy, a bit like whiskey. A little bit kind of slightly fruitier, but totally acceptable. Not like something you get. I'm using this as an English example here, but this would follow for most of Western Europe, like Lidl, someone like that, or Aldi, or Netto. You can get like lots of really good drinks in there, but the way you get these kind of cheapo versions that really aren't really the real deal. They're not like cheap versions of a non-branded good version. They're kind of like a second or third or fourth or fifth rate thing, which is just not very good. That kind of thing, but probably better than most of them. But that costs a lot less as well. So as I said, because my main thing is, whenever you go to the tourist areas, they've got Sangsom, then they've got all the expensive stuff which is imported. It's really expensive. Like they've got Jack Daniels and Absolute vodka and I said Johnny Walker. But Johnny Walker's not really particularly like imported for tourists. They actually drink it themselves, but not very often. Only the rich ones. And obviously the very poor ones also drink it when they go on their big nights out, sort of thing. But and also they even sell in bars here. They sell like 2-litre bottles of Johnny Walker Black Label. So you can understand they're not. That's not something people do when they don't drink it. That is because they do drink it here. But these other drinks, it's just worth bearing in mind that they're not that bad. And that horrible Mekong, man, it will fuck your holiday up. It really will. So that's a little bit of an extension. Now I'm just going to have a little drink of this just so I can kind of explain to you what it tastes like. Right now, you can still taste like a strong taste of alcohol, but there's no kick in the back of your neck. If you drink the other stuff, you get a kick in the back of your neck, and obviously I'm drawing a kind of cross section too, but it'd be here. You get that kind of, you don't get that with this one. You just don't get it. You still get like a hit, and if you drink a big load of it in one go, then it, like it might make you feel, ooh. But the point is, it mainly just rushes up to your head. Good drink, I think, is a good one. And as I said, in some certain places, most places here, you can buy like 3 or 5 or 2 cigarettes and stuff. But you can also buy Lao Khao in a small, like in a kind of like shop. Like so, for 20, 40 pence, you can have like a big glass, like a big shot glass, like really full of it. So you're getting probably a quarter of a bottle or something in that. You're getting quite a lot. I mean, obviously it's more expensive to buy it that way, but you just want one shot, whatever. But you can get yudong like that in lots of places. Now the other thing is that I wanted to point out to you is this thing here. Is wherever you go, you see people carrying this around with them, yeah. Now that one there, it's got 2 people on it. Look, and I've got the same picture here, so I can pull it up, put it in front of you. See that? Sorry. Now that bit there is just to scare you at the top. That's saying that like a kind of red LED will start coming out of your throat if you have a cigarette. That one's not as good. That kind of fucked the example up. But that's the kind of label. They're all the same labels, all the same amount of colour on them. But here's the one that I would normally say is the most common one. You see the little people there? They are. That says there in the scribbles. That says dancing brand, right? Now that there, right, absolutely packed with cigarette papers, but instead what they actually are is they're kind of rolled up. That's a broken one. What you do is you get a whole packet of these things, and what they are is they're like rolled up. I think it's bamboo or something, some kind of vine, and you can kind of unwrap these. This one here will be another one that would be discarded, and you can kind of roll that up the other way, and then you use that to put the tobacco in. But the tobacco, they always put them together, you see, this is the thing. The brand is not for the little bits of bamboo-y stuff. It's not for that, it's for the other stuff. It's the tobacco. So you get like a big pouch of tobacco. See there? It's because I'm not very good at this, man. But that would be like, really quite full. I don't exactly know how much. But that would cost you 5 baht, which is just under 10 pence. And also the masses and masses and masses of these rolly papers. Sorry, little bits of grass that you used to roll up with. I think they'd be like cheroots in the old days, but smaller. Small cheroots. That's what they'd be. But you see, basically, if you use these ones, I don't really like them. And it doesn't seem to matter what you smoke in them. I mean, see, that's just about big enough to wrap some tobacco in. Any smaller than that, it just won't go in. That one would just about, but you see, they keep going out. They do have cigarettes again. Cigarettes are very cheap. They're about 1/10 the price of England, probably less than that. But yeah, it's just worth remembering because, like, if you ever need tobacco for anything other than smoking cigarettes, this stuff will go out because it's just normal tobacco. But think, 10 pence for a pouch of tobacco. I mean, it's not a big pouch, but it's about the same as like a small Golden Virginia pouch, and everyone has one, and it's so cheap that if you walked in someone's house and just picked it up and started smoking it, you wouldn't even get a funny look. No one would even consider to do it. You could just finish the whole lot. Because you got to remember that whenever you go to a poor country, it's not really that poor here. That's a bit of a myth, but a very, very, very small amount of money is still a very, very small amount of money. There's no point in people like collecting the pennies because it's only going to add up to a very small amount of money, so it's not even worth worrying about. So it doesn't actually make much difference when it comes down to very small amounts of money. So yeah, so the addition to the last video really is Lao Khao makes yudong. That was it's only about half an hour later since I did the other one. That yudong has gone in there, and that was this powder here, 11 Tigers. I found out since then that retails for almost €10 for 2 bags of that, packets of that in Germany. And that makes this quite foul tasting Lao Khao, which is really quite got a real kick. It's only 20%, but it's really got a real nasty kick. and makes it into a nice drink. Now, as I said, I'm not advocating this from a health point of view, but the point is, if you've got a drink that actually makes you feel sick, alcohol doesn't make you feel sick. It's not good. If you drink too much of it, it will. But some of these other ones, people think they're buying a kind of almost as good spirit, and they're not. So you're best off just drinking this. Look, if you get a couple of bottles of that, £1.20 times two, or a big one that's the same size as this, but not Leo beer. You get it's the exact same bottle it comes in for what is it? I forget exactly how much it is. Maybe £1.20, something like that. No, £2.30 or something. You get much. If you're on holiday, you want to get drunk. Just get that. Like the other thing to remember here, and this is very important, is he's not around at the minute. I haven't seen him or his mates for a little bit, but all the locals, loads of them drink this all the time, especially the poor ones. And if you give them like the option of having beers and like proper drink, like nice stuff, they just throw it away and go, no, we want that. They won't. If you give them a beer when they're complete alcoholics, like vibrating because they want to drink, they won't even drink the beer. They just feel like, what's the point? There's no point. And if you offer them like fancy proper drink, they won't. So I don't know if alcohol's got something in it that's addictive, but either way, that's the reality of it. I've seen it in numerous instances. You'll like offer them expensive drink, they don't want it. They want the alcohol, So anyway, as I said, my name's Tom Cahill. It's Friday, the 3rd of October, 2014. I'm doing these videos because, as I said, this is the second one of two, and it's the fact that when people come on holiday here, the first time I ever came here, nobody mentioned all the other drinks. Yet I was drinking this disgusting Mekong because people roped me into buying it because they didn't want to spend as much money. I had money at the time, so it wasn't really an issue for me. But the problem is, if you're buying it for other people, you end up buying what they want, and then you get stuff you don't really like. And you'd be best just going for like the bargain basement stuff, and it's actually nicer, and it doesn't give you the problems the next day, So, and the other thing we've got to add is that when I was here the first time, I was doing lots of training. When after I've been here, I was here for 6 months. First 3 months I was on holiday doing nothing, and then nothing productive of that kind of stuff. But then the next 3 months I was doing very, very intensive physical sports training every day, so like every single day. So like the fact that I was drinking and stuff at the time, it didn't really hit me because I was in such good shape. It really didn't, you know what it's like if you're not actually doing any work, you're just spending 3 or 4 hours a day doing very hard physical training. You get in very good shape. So I was in a bit of a unique position there. But I can also say from that because you can absorb your absorption capacity. You just can absorb nutrients. You don't get any fat. You just keep like shrinking. Your shoulders and that get bigger. The rest of you get smaller. It does have a different flow on it. So I can sort of tell you that if something didn't taste nice then and wasn't getting processed properly, there's very few people it's going to get processed on. Anyway, as I said, I'm Tom Cahill. It's Friday, the 3rd of October 2014. I'm just doing this so that people don't fall in the trap I did when I was on my holiday. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye bye.